The 2013 Nassau County PVA Lifesaver Award goes to Police Officer Charles J. Sparacchio from the 4th Precinct, Police Officer Jack Trabala from the 4th Precinct, Police Officer Thomas M. O'Grady from the 4th Precinct, Police Officer Daniel F. Bernard, MAB, Police Officer Darren M. Costello, MAB, AMT Lawrence Loisel, AMT Walter Lynch, and AMT Nicholas Pignataro. On October 2nd, 2012, Officers Charles J. Sparacchio, Jack Trabala, and Thomas O'Grady, all of the 4th Precinct, came to the aid of Police Officer Dominic Stanganelli. Officer Stanganelli was involved in a serious auto accident. While outside his vehicle performing a traffic stop, an oncoming car drove between the stopped car and the officer's RMP, striking Officer Stanganelli. The impact from the vehicle launched Officer Stanganelli into the air, flipping him around before he crashed to the ground. This impact caused serious physical injuries, including a fractured pelvis, broken legs, and internal bleeding, leaving the officer in critical condition. The 3 officers began the rescue of Officer Stanganelli. Working together as a team, they checked for breathing and applied oxygen. The officers stabilized his neck and lower extremities while attempting to control his massive bleeding. A request for an ambulance and helicopter was made. Ambulance medical technicians Lawrence Loisel, Nicholas Pignataro, and Walter Lynch arrived on the scene. Also responding on their own without being dispatched was the Lawrence-Cedarhurst Fire Department. Working together to render aid, they were able to transfer Officer Stanganelli onto a backboard while performing advanced life support in an attempt to save his life. They put him on a trundle and moved towards the helicopter for transport to the hospital. The pilot was Officer Daniel Bernard, along with Medic Officer Darren Costello. They transported Officer Stanganelli to NUMC as they continued to try and stabilize him. 4th Precinct Police Officers Sparacchio, Trabala, and O'Grady, Aviation Officers Bernard and Costello, Ambulance Medical Technicians Loisel and Lynch, along with volunteer fire department personnel, acted as a well-rounded team of experts to render immediate aid to Officer Stanganelli. The result of the tremendous work of all the members involved prevented him from sustaining even further serious injuries. Officer Stanganelli was released from the hospital after 6 months of surgery and rehabilitation. He still suffers from lingering effects of the accident, but is grateful for the life-saving measures that were used by all the rescuers.
That morning, I went down there based on a complaint from the village of speeding on Route 878. As people came off the Atlantic Beach Bridge and also from Far Rockaway, the speed limit's 30 miles an hour, and they were flying down there. I'm looking down the road, and there's this big old dark SUV in the left lane coming at me. I estimated his speed about 55, and when I looked at the radar, it was about 53. So he was still over 20 miles per hour over the speed limit. Well, what I didn't know was that somebody was tailgating him. The guy who was tailgating him saw him slow down, and without even wondering what was in the road or why the guy might have been slowing down in the left lane, he decides he's going to pass him. He jumps into the right lane at 55 miles an hour because remember, he's following the other guy, right? Meanwhile, my guy is pulling over. So the 2 cars collided, and then he goes careening into me. And that was where, that was what I remember. That's what I remember up to. So the fact that I'm here talking to you is a miracle. And as far as I'm concerned, God worked that miracle through the guys and the women who came to work on me, because it was horrendous. The first thing I'd like to say is thank you for saving my life. I've always known that I was in a business where we really care a lot about each other, men and women alike. But to actually be on the other side of this for the first time. You see, I've been on the other side where I've actually gone and helped other cops that have been hurt. But I never really thought it would happen to me. And the idea that everybody came and they brought their A game, they did, because if they didn't bring their A game, I wouldn't be here talking to you. I really wouldn't. These guys and any women that were involved also, they They saved my life, literally. They did everything. I mean, it was so way beyond what I would consider to be like life-saving because of all of the things that were wrong with me, you know. And I'll grant you, I'm a spiritual person, and I do believe that the Lord had something to do with it. What He's saving me for, I don't know just yet. But it wouldn't have, He acted through their hands. He acted through their minds. So what I'd like to say to them is thank you for saving my life.